They say you are what you eat, so I don't eat chicken feet. But I love me some of Grandma's pickled beets. Well, cut it up, put it in the pan, throw it over your shoulder and see where it lands right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Maters, taters, beans and corn, the cows in the barn and the sheep's been shorn, kids in the barnyard chasing Grandpa's chicken. Spices, slices, cuts and dices, gonna slash your grocery prices right here in Farmer's Kitchen. Help you grow your garden good with recipes to suit your mood. Try some grub you've never tried before. Smash it with a wooden mallet, gonna educate your palate right here in Farmer's Kitchen, in Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We're gonna cook something good now.
Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen brought to you by Woods Equipment Company. Has every tool you need to make working the land as rewarding as hunting it. L81 Bottling Company. Taste, love, and share the tradition. Rose Farm Supply. Family farming and commitment to our customers since 1982. Housewarmings, the outdoor living and fireplace experts.
Hello and welcome to Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen. We have a treat for you tonight. Now, you know I've always said step outside of your comfort zone and try things you haven't tried before. Now, tonight, the stuff that we're making, for the most part, is really good for you. Let's talk about this. This is one of the sides. This is coming in later, but look at this. Is that not cool? Does that not look like a really cool, weird Christmas tree? That's Brussels sprouts. That's how they grow. You know, I did a little checking on Brussels sprouts, and I found out that they're high in vitamin A and vitamin C and vitamin K. They have cancer-fighting agents in them. It's a wonderful, healthy meal. If you like cabbage, you'll probably like this. And it's not exactly like cabbage. Now, a lot of times there's a little bitter taste to that, but that bitter taste that you're getting in there is probably part of those nutrients that are good for you. I absolutely love it. Nikki loves it. Most of our friends love it. There are many, many ways you can try that, and we're going to show you how to make a neat side. Look at that again. Isn't that cool? We got that at Good Foods just like that. The Brussels are going to be a side for something kind of special tonight. Now, this is a lamb shank. Not a very big piece of meat. But wow, what good taste. And it's almost like a portion for one person. So we're going to make a meal out of a lamb shank. You see, never tried lamb before? Step outside your comfort zone and try it. Now, what goes good with lamb? One of the spices that I always use on most of my lamb is rosemary. Now, on this particular recipe, you can make as many of these as you want. Go ahead and get your oven preheating to about 350 and let that oven be getting good and warm, because we're going to take these and put them in packets, individual packets that you can give to everybody. We're going to have the Brussels on the side, and Nikki's going to come in with a Greek potato recipe that's absolutely fabulous. And we've got some organic potatoes that we got from Good Foods that are absolutely wonderful. And now, here we go. Here's how we're going to get started. Now, this is sitting in front of me for the side, but let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to prepare our lamb. And I'm going to set this right up here. Now, this lamb shank is a nice, wonderful piece of meat. Now, lamb, as we know, is really good for us. It's less fatty. It is easier for us to digest lamb than any other red meat out there. Now, we talked to our good buddy Jim Mansfield. He's a good person to get this from down around Salvisa, and there are lots of other folks who are catching on to the lamb and goat craze, and we're absolutely loving it. So here's where we're going to start with this. We're going to take some carrots, some onions, some garlic, and just leave it whole. We want some thyme, some sage, some salt, some pepper, some white wine, and then we're going to go from there and just kind of put this thing together. It is absolutely wonderful. Now, when you prepare this inside of that aluminum foil, it just steams and all those tastes get wound up together. And when you open that thing up, it's falling off the bone. Let it go for about 2.5 hours. And it is absolutely wonderful. So it's just this simple. Now, the first thing I'm going to need is a piece of aluminum foil. Pretty good sized piece of aluminum foil. I'm going to go ahead and bring this up here and create my work area. Now what I'm going to do is make a little pouch down here for all my vegetables. Another thing I want to do, obviously, is put a little olive oil on here, in and amongst it. That will let all your seasonings stick to it, and your rosemary as well. I'm going to take some salt and pepper. And some purple. I keep rosemary on the back porch. And I'm going to go ahead and strip some of those off and let those stick to that. This is flavor for the outside. There'll be some on the inside too with that butter that I chop up, whip up. Lamb and rosemary go together like Cleopatra and Mark Antony. I'm going to save the rest to whip up the butter. Now, that'll flavor that outside. Okay, now I'm going to take some butter, in this case probably about 3/4 of a stick. And I'm going to take some more fresh rosemary. I wish I had fresh thyme. I don't right now. So I'm just going to take some dried thyme and some dried sage. I'm going to put just I don't know. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be about 1/2 teaspoon in there. And a little bit of sage. A little bit of sage goes a long way. Just a dash of that. Like that. Put in here. All right, now I've mixed my butter up. Now what I'm going to do is create a little pouch down here below. I'm going to take my onions, a couple cloves of garlic, some carrots. It's my little pouch below. And I'm going to take this butter, I'm going to put it into that opening. I'm going to force it in there next to that bone so that flavor really gets in there. And I'll take a little bit more, just lay down here in the bottom for some more buttery goodness. All right, now I want to make myself a little receptacle here where I can take some white wine. I'm going to put that much in there. How much is that? Just enough to let those flavors go throughout that. Now I'm going to take this up, bunch it all together, seal this up. Being careful to let my liquid stay in there. And I'm going to put these in a roasting pan on a rack with a little liquid below, and that's what your package is going to look like. Now, I'm going to take these. The oven is preheated, 350 degrees, and I'm going to set those in there and let them do their thing for about 2.5 hours. Now, for those of you who don't necessarily like lamb, I suggest you still try it. You might like it. Let's try a chicken recipe with L81 in it. It's delicious. Deanne Elmore.
Tim Farmer.
Chicken.
Tangy. L8 grilled chicken.
Marinated.
Marinated.
Grilled chicken. Now,
Marinated grilled chicken.
you know, if you can ever take any kind of meat and find those right combination of flavors and let it set and absorb that flavor, you got something good going on. That's
succulent, flavorful.
That gorgeous attacked me.
At least you grew it.
That's true. But you know, you got I see what you got going on here, and you can't go wrong with rosemary, onion, and garlic.
Oh,
I might lose my eyes over here.
I'll protect you.
And I see this thing right here, so I know what you're going to do. So it's going to get ugly. I might just stand back.
It is going to get
and
ugly.
let you take the heat.
Okay.
But tell us what you're doing here with this chicken.
I'm just going to take a 1/2 cup of Wesson oil, and I'm going to do everything right here in this
oversized measuring cup. Aren't
yes,
those handy?
They are. It's great, and it saves on your cleanup. And then I've got just a clove of garlic here that I'm going to mince. This garlic, stick it in the oil here, and I'm just going to pull back on it. Looks like a spruce, and has a very aromatic smell to it. And I'm just going to give this just kind of a coarse chop. So
you're saying about 2 tablespoons of that?
About, I think the recipe calls for a tablespoon, but I always like to add just a little bit more.
Rosemary's so good.
Well, and you're just marinating with it, so it's not going to give off too much, but we're going to stick that in there as well. And then we're going to put a cup of L8 in here.
Or the sweet.
then I add some salt and pepper. You know.
I like what you're doing here.
Look at that.
You see that chemical reaction?
It's great, isn't it?
That's all right.
Slice this onion in half.
I'm gonna go way over here.
You ready?
Yeah, knock yourself out.
And I like to use a pliable cutting board because when you grate the onion, you're going to get some juices off of it that I like to capture, but you don't get with a wooden cutting board.
That's just a yellow sweet onion.
It is a yellow sweet onion.
And there's your onion.
So there's my onion and there's my juice. And I'm just going to shake all of that down in there.
All right. Look at that.
And yeah, go ahead, mix it up. That's all. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Man, oh man. And you use Western oil, but you could use olive oil if you chose.
If you wanted to. I like a salad oil because if you put it in the refrigerator, olive oil will congeal on you.
This stays a little looser.
And that'll stay a little looser and it just keeps everything a little more moist. So I just have 4 leg quarters in here. I think they're nice for the barbecue. It's also a little different than a chicken breast. Sometimes I get tired of chicken breast.
We're doing a lot more quarters here lately, it seems like. I just like it better.
Kids like legs, so.
Easier to grab a hold of.
And all I'm gonna do is stick that in there, zip it up, probably get a little air out of it.
And let it get acquainted.
Yes, and I'm just gonna roll it around a little bit. And then we're just gonna stick that in the refrigerator and let it marinate.
Now, being that it's dark outside and we don't have any lights down there tonight,
I'll do it.
through the magic of television, let me do it with you. Bing, 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 bing. Somebody lost the top to their Christmas tree.
Oh no, it just needs a light and a star and you'll be good to go, right?
You know what? I'm just going to get right in here and dig in because this is the way I would do it if I. Oh, it's still pretty hot. Yeah.
Did you burn your fingers?
I burned my finger. I'm sorry. I like the skin.
Do ya?
Oh my goodness, that's really, really good. Now I like the darker meat. That's just me.
I do too. It's a little moister. Has a little more flavor to it. It's a little richer.
You know what? That rosemary's really coming out. Ooh, that's good.
It's very easy.
3 hours. Does it
3
hurt if
hours.
it stays in there 6, 8, 10 hours?
No, you can do it overnight. Be fine. Just gives it more time to get in there and.
Greasy hands here, shake my finger. You outdid yourself once again.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Try this, you'll absolutely love it. Now, to top this thing off tonight, we've got our lamb, and we've got our Brussels sprouts. It's fantastic. Now, my wife, who has Greek heritage, is going to pull up something here. Step outside your comfort zone. Try something. Try some different spices. Tonight, we're going to try. Let me see if I can find her. Mrs. Farmer, where art thou? Dikanis kala.
Dikanis kala.
Which means,
hello, how are you?
did you wear that apron to work today?
I did.
I see potatoes. Not just potatoes, but organic potatoes. Now, people think, oh, farming is organic, whatever. Let me tell you what. Some farming practices that I've been reading on, I'm kind of worried about what they do to the soil and all that type of stuff. So if I can get organic and I have to pay a little more for it, I'm very willing to do so because I'm putting this stuff in my body. What is more precious than taking care of your health? The stuff that we've absorbed over the years, it's a wonder we're still both standing here. So what we do from here on out is we'll have a little more control over that. Now we've got our potatoes here. You're going to make a Greek dish. What are you going to make?
I'm going to make marjoram potatoes. It's a Greek dish, though.
Now that's something that a lot of people, they may have never heard of this, but it's just some marjoram leaves. You can grow these yourselves, or you can buy them in the store. It's got a really unique taste. It really brings out the flavor when you have a little olive oil and potatoes. And you fixed this before. This is so easy.
And this is in this little Greek cookbook
Show
that
us
we
your
found.
cookbook.
We found this at the antique store. Remember this?
Now that's probably from the 50s, and it's actual Greek recipes, and really some of it gives absolutely no
Well,
measurements.
this doesn't really. It just says pound and a half potatoes, salt, pepper, your spice, some olive oil, and juice from a lemon. It doesn't even tell you what does it say for a moderate oven.
Yeah, so
what's moderate
they're
oven?
thinking 300,
Yeah.
325, something like
Maybe
that.
go a little higher, get it done quicker.
Yeah.
But, so that's kind of where we got this recipe, and it's really good. It's very
So we
simple.
got potatoes, salt and pepper, marjoram. If you don't have that, you can use thyme.
Right.
Olive oil
And lemon juice. And it says
Period.
use 1 lemon, but we just had lemon juice tonight, so we're going to do that.
Let's see what you're doing here, Miss Farmer.
And it says to go, well, let's go ahead and spray, if you want to spray the pan for me,
All right.
with our olive oil.
Absolutely.
And it says to cut these kind of thick. You could do them thin, but we're going to go ahead and just slice the potatoes. We've already peeled them to save some time. And if you want to go ahead and line our pan, and we're actually going to, we may actually put the spice on and stir it up a little bit, and then put some more on.
We grew our own potatoes this year, and oh my goodness, when you take your new potatoes out of the garden, all of you have had them. Your new potatoes with your green beans, fresh out of the garden. Man, oh man, I can't wait till spring. We're just laying these on top of each other, and it kind of...
You know what, we may actually just put all this in and stir it up a little. That's probably enough for you and I, and we don't need these
Oh
extra.
yeah. Okay.
Let's pour some of this thicker stuff too. We're going to stir it around.
There's plenty of olive oil so it doesn't stick to your pan.
And we're gonna, it says lemon juice of 1 lemon. You can use a whole lemon, but we're gonna go ahead and just, that would be about a lemon's worth, you think?
Want some salt and pepper?
Salt and pepper,
We can do that.
and lots of pepper, because Glenn loves pepper.
Yes, he does. He's going to be making fun of us. All right, and your marjoram.
I'm gonna go ahead and stir it up a little maybe. We'll put a little extra while we're doing that. It's kind of, it doesn't really give measurements, so it's kind of by taste, but we like it. There's a lot of flavor in it.
Well, you use good common sense. You know how much stuff you like, how much spices you like. And it comes out so crisp and light, but it really accentuates lamb. We can go and drop that in.
That's it. There's nothing to
That's
it.
it. Drop it in.
We're gonna go ahead and cook it, what? We had the oven at,
We're going to cook that, what, about an hour?
yeah.
Let's do it.
We'll just keep watching it.
All right. All right, now that Nikki's got her potatoes going, this is the last and final step. And I'm excited. Why? Because I get to eat some of my bacon. Now, as we talked about when we were doing this bacon, you can go different places and buy your own bacon in the raw form. You see what it looks like right here. There's a big slab of it. As that lamb is behind us there, cooking, all those flavors getting together and getting acquainted. We're getting this ready here. Here's our base. We're going to start with our bacon, and we're going to get some bacon grease going in here. And once our bacon's done, we're going to cut it up, and we're going to top the Brussels sprouts with that. Now, this is an ancient vegetable that the Romans used. They look back and they found records of it, and people really, really liked this stuff. They knew it was good for them, and they used it in all kinds of different ways. But I find this just fascinating to see this grow. Next year, I'm going to try to grow some. And it thrives in a little cooler climate. So it could be an early vegetable that you put out when you put your cabbages out. Next year, I'm really going to start working on that early. As we get our bacon going, it smells heavenly. It's so rewarding to do things for yourself. And I would highly suggest, now not everybody can raise pigs, but go somewhere, buy you some bacon. Go to Marksberry's, go to UK, go somewhere where you can buy you some bacon. Cure it yourself, do your own ham, grow you a little vegetable garden. This spring, we're going to show you how to garden, even if you live in the city. We're going to show you how you can do your own thing. Raised gardens, things like that. All right, I'm taking my bacon out. I'm going to pour some of this grease off. All right, now I'm going to take my pretty little Christmas tree and start pulling my little Brussels off. They raise a lot of these in, of all places, Brussels. I'm going to get enough there for just the two of us. And we like our Brussels, so we're going to have a lot of. Now, I poured off a lot of that bacon grease, but I want some in the bottom there because I want the flavor of that bacon grease. And a lot of the bigger pieces here, we're going to take off some of the outer leaves and we'll cut the bigger ones in half to make sure they're done. A lot of times you can score the bottom of them too, let them cook through a little bit better. And I believe that's probably going to be it. Well, I'm really hungry tonight, so I'll do one more. I'm going to set this aside. Is that not cool? Okay, now I'm going to peel off these outer layers until I get down to where the leaves are fairly tight on there. I'm going to pop that bottom off, set that aside, and I'm going to cut along the bottom till it's square, and then score it a little bit so it'll get done better. I'll take the great big ones, I'll cut them in half. They cook better like that. My bacon pile has dwindled. Why? Because off camera, I was guilty of eating some of it because it was so good, and somebody over there did it, and somebody over there did it. I can't mention who those people are, but we have less bacon than we did a minute ago. Now what we're going to do is we're going to drop some shallots in here. Shallots and bacon grease. You know what else? Because it's tiny little baby cabbages and I like butter, I'm going to put melt just a little bit of butter in here as well. Now you can say, oh, this is not good for you, or this is not good for you. Well, let me tell you what. Butter is natural. Our bacon is as natural as it can be. How do I know? Because I raised the pigs. And this is probably a good time to tell you about TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com. It's a great place to visit if you have missed some shows or want to try some of our recipes. And if you're looking away right now, put a little bit of olive oil in there. We have many, many, many recipes on here. And every week after we post a show on our regular television station, it goes directly to our TimFarmersCountryKitchen.com. Click on shows, click on YouTube, and you can scroll through and see all kinds of interesting things that we've done right here in our kitchen. And yes, this is our kitchen. Many people ask, where's the set that you do the set? Well, it's right here in our kitchen. Now, at this point, I'm going to bring my Brussels over. I'll go ahead and drop them in. And what am I going to do now? Now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some chicken broth in here. Okay. I'm going to come back with some salt and pepper. Now I can crank that up just a little bit. Come back with some salt to taste. Not a whole lot, that's sea salt. Let that come to a boil and let that go for about 10 or 15 minutes. And all those flavors from the bacon grease to the butter, salt and pepper, and the shallots. That is a perfect side to our lamb shanks. And let's get that rolling. I'm only going to eat one more piece of this baby out. Through the magic of television, Mrs. Farmer, it's done. Yum. Do you want the first bite? Look, that's how it should be. You just come right off the edge there.
It's not good. You probably let me eat it.
I should probably let you have all that. Look at that, how that just comes right off. Now these potatoes, really nice and light. You can taste the spices, you can taste the potatoes. Now, my favorite thing in the world. Oh, Mom.
That's good.
I could eat every one of those.
These are good too. Try your vegetables.
Absolutely delicious. If you've never tried it, try a lamb shank, a goat shank. Well, I'm making all kinds of noise and stuff here. You go ahead and eat, and I'll sign off. You know what? Join us next week for a brand new show, and remember, it's all about good times, good friends, and good eats. Good. Can I help you? Lamb shanks. Buffalo for us. And marjoram taters. Kanish kala.
Bikanis kala.
Bikanis kala.
Special thanks to Kentucky Beer Cheese, Polecat Custom Smokers, and Weisenberger Mill. Funding for Tim Farmer's Country Kitchen brought to you by Kentucky Sheep and Goat Development Office. Try something different tonight.